myself in that situation. And, you know, I hope someone would be nice enough to help me out in a bind. But
we go forever now. We go forever and ever, yeah. You know that I'm at your settle, yeah. You would say you can do better, no, it won't let him, We go forever and ever, yeah.
This is my dad trying to be a mechanic when he clearly doesn't know what he's doing.
hey!
Okay, I eat my words on the starter. I'm not eating my words on that. I guarantee he drops another valve after messing with the interjectors.
What's going on, everybody? We are headed to the next pickup just outside of Dallas. We're going to be picking up Oversize going up to Kansas City, Missouri. So we'll be running the north side of Texas through Oklahoma up into Kansas. Not really looking for, I don't like running Oversize through Oklahoma because they route you on all the freaking back roads. Gets on my nerves. But anyway, and what is up with these truck prices? I was looking earlier, just glancing around like I always do, but man, they're crazy. They're absolutely insane. I've been seeing, I take the one I seen earlier, 1990 Peterbilt, $125,000 for a 30-year-old truck. Absolutely insane. Insane. I thought, you see the Peterbilt 379s and the Kenworth W900s and stuff going for, a couple months ago, going for, you know, 55 to 65, 70,000. And I thought that was insane. And now they're pushing 100, 120. That one earlier, 125. Crazy. I don't, you know, the market's good right now, and they're projecting 2022 to be better. What FreightWaves had it, well, they say another 24% in tonnage, freight tonnage for 2022. Rail's going down like 13%, 14%, something like that. And they're estimating like a 60% increase in freight revenue. But I don't know, man. It's you know, I've seen it in the oil field many times. The rise. The rise to the top was great, but when it fell, or when it falls hard. So, and the guy's spending that money, that amount of money for these trucks right now, you know. I hope, and they're spending it. I mean, these trucks are getting bought for them rates. They're getting bought for them prices. You know, and hey, if I had a truck that I was wanting to sell, you know, sell it for market value. Market value right now is high. Supply and demand, right? The demand is high. But when when you hit that peak and it comes down, I hope they haven't paid off. This is gonna be rough. It's gonna be real rough. Luckily, you know, this truck's paid for. The truck and trailer's paid for. Hopefully, yeah, I'm still looking at getting another truck too. You know, stepping up to a tandem with a 53 step spread axle step deck. I just have a hard time paying the prices some of these folks are trying to get. There's actually a FLD 120. It's not the classic XL that I want, but there's an FLD 120 close to me that's got a Cat C15. The guy's asking $23,000 for, which, you know, in today's market is really, really cheap. I'm contemplating on it, you know, whether or not to get it. I'm still, I don't know, I've still been holding out for trying to find the right classic. But what I'm thinking about doing is finding a truck that needs a lot of work, right? Just have it at the house, and when I'm home, fix it up, rebuild the motor if it needs rebuilt, take care of whatever needs taken care of, you know, until it's road ready, and then transfer into it, just to try to combat these prices. I don't know if I'm gonna sell this truck. I'm still trying to make up my mind on that. I'd like to keep it, you know, because it's got a fresh motor in it. It'll have a new transmission in it here pretty soon, so, you know, the truck itself is solid. You know, it's been a Texas truck its whole life. It don't have no rust, absolutely no rust anywhere on the frame. Yeah, I've had to change out a few things, bushings and whatnot, you know, because they dry rot over the years. This is a 22-year-old truck, but I would like to convert this to a tandem also. but the prices they're asking to convert it to a tandem's outrageous now. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. If I end up selling this truck, I'll end up selling the truck and trailer as a package deal, because I can get more money out of it that way. Yeah, the quick load process. So this is what I have for an AC to sit on. Going to Kansas City, I do have to throw a tarp over the top of it. I don't have to be fully tarped. Obviously, it's not that tall. So, but I don't have a whole lot of time. I want to try to get this strapped down, tarp, and get on the road as soon as possible. That way I can make as much time today as I can before sunset. So we'll holler at y'all here shortly. We're done. Yeah. Just in time. Got the permits just about 10 minutes ago. So she's loaded up. Not too bad on the tarp job. Like I said, all they wanted was the top covered. That's it. So yeah, we're flagged up, ready to go. It's 2 o'clock. So I got a little time. I'll make it into Oklahoma at least, probably, maybe. yeah, let's get on the road. I hate Texas, their oversized routing instructions. It's such a pain in the butt. I wish they could make it easier. Arkansas is pretty easy. Missouri's is fairly easy. But Texas is just a pain in the butt. We're gonna get on down the road. Hopefully I don't get off track with Texas directions. If I do, oh well. I'll get back on track. I ain't really worried about Texas that bad. I ain't really worried about it with it like wide. Now if I was high, then yeah, it would start giving me that uneasy feeling in my stomach. But wide, I ain't too worried. As long as I'm not over 12, I don't get too worried about it. I just get myself back on route if I miss a turn and go about my business. I did that one time in Illinois. I don't think I mentioned it in that video a long time ago, but I generally try to keep this, like, everything I do clean, right? No video evidence, but this was like way off in the past. I missed a turn basically. I had the radio on, focus, just jamming, and yeah, about 75 miles later I started seeing Chicago, and I was like, I was supposed to turn a long time ago. And yeah, so I had to find a new route. Legally, you need to pull over, make the phone call, and say, hey, I passed my route, I need to be rerouted. That's what you do when in that situation. I, on the other hand, I found my way. I was what was I? I was like 11.6 or something on that trip. And I found another interstate to cut down to put me on the the interstate I was supposed to be on. So I cut down that interstate and then get about halfway down it, and boom, width restriction, like nothing larger than 10.6. So I was like, son of a, pulled over, pulled up maps. I was like, okay, I found the route around it. I can get it. I can do this. And I did it. But where it brought me out was right in front of the state troopers headquarters or whatever. And there was like 8 of them standing outside by their car as I rolled by. And I was like, oh my God. Yep, I'm done. I'm over with. But luckily I got back on the interstate. Got on the interstate I was supposed to be on, and made it on down the road. But yeah, anyway, like I said, look, whenever you get off route, legally you should pull over, call and get an amended permit. Coming up, get an amended permit and then carry on. They'll probably, bitch and complain and moan, whatnot, that you got off your intended route, but, it happens sometimes. It shouldn't happen 200, you shouldn't have to reroute yourself 200 miles, but which was shorter. It cut that trip down considerably. thing real quick, I forgot to mention, if you're hauling oversized, let me find the gear. If you're hauling oversized and the state routes you a particular way, it is still your responsibility to make sure that way is good. Take for instance, San Antonio routes you oversized. If you're coming south on 35 coming into San Antonio, they will route you 410 west around to 151 west to 1604 south all the way back down to 35. Well, when I was home, me and my wife were in town, and we were behind. No, I was on the front of the truck, and there was one of the trucks that hauls double wides, bringing a trailer down 410, getting ready to get off at 151. But they started construction, and there was a width restriction, so he had to get off. Well, where he got off, instead of being a single concrete barrier on each side, they had the normal concrete barrier, and then they put an extra concrete barrier on the inside, on each side, right? And he tried to ease through it, and it was tight. The sign was also hanging out, so he couldn't get his trailer through. And as I passed it, he was stopped, just holding up traffic and everything. I passed him, and I told my wife, I was like, I think I need to turn around and give this dude a hand. So we whipped her car around, pulled in, got on the shoulder, and hey, easy car, coming up a little too fast, you see my blinker. I got out and I gave him a hand. We had to loosen up that sign and turn the sign from this way to this way. And then inch him through. And he had about maybe 3/4 of an inch clearance on each side. But his trailer was tracking off. So as he would pull forward, the trailer would go into the barrier, or get close to going into the barrier. So I'd have to have him turn his wheel back up and then inch forward again, stop, turn his wheel back up, because that was a bumper pull trailer, so you can maneuver the front of that trailer over, which is where it was trying to hang up on the concrete barrier. Needless to say, I ended up helping him get through, got the sign put back up, but that's still his responsibility to check the route, right? Even though it's a state approved route, or the route the state gives you, it's still your responsibility. So that's also another thing to remember. If you ever come across something like that, he did the right thing. He stopped, and he was fit. When I pulled up, he said, I said, can I help you? He's like, do you do oversized? I said, yeah, I do it from time to time. And he was like, okay, good. Yeah, if you could help me get through here, that would be great. He said, I was on the phone, or fixing to call San Antonio PD, because what he was gonna have to do was either back up about 3/4 of a mile down interstate to get to the off-ramp behind him, or he was gonna have to clear cones going through that construction. You seen it? Excuse my language. Y'all just seen a bad side of me. I apologize. I probably bleeped that out. Dude was in the other lane. I'm coming over. He decides to whip over into the right lane, come around the car that he was behind, and then pull back out. how to bleep that out. But yeah, it's y'all's your responsibility as a driver to make sure the route is okay. So, and that doesn't mean you have to drive, like pre-drive it like you would with a super load or anything like that. But you know, if you get to a point where you know you're not going to make it, stop. If you got to back up traffic, back up traffic. It's not worth the insurance claim or an accident or anything like that. You know, bring traffic to a halt. You know, or try to get it off, you know, to where they can come around. But like in his instance, there was no getting around. The traffic that was behind him, stuck behind him. They couldn't move. They couldn't get back on the interstate because it was concrete barrier. So, which he did the right thing. I was fortunate enough to stop and help him, I guess. Or he was fortunate enough that I was there and willing to help him. Well, like I said before, I always try to help everybody out, especially if they're in a bind. Because the way I see it is, or the way I look at it is, I try to put myself in that situation. And, you know, I hope someone would be nice enough to help me